So your shelves are amazing, Jake.
Yeah, those are cool.
And I'm in love. Do you do other things of this nature?
Do all kinds of things.
We're
Well,
back, baby.
We're back. We'll talk after,
whoa.
Sarah.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, we'll talk.
We'll talk. We'll talk later.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're gonna
Okay,
talk.
I'm gonna mute us just in case there's any noises on our end. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Go mute and then we'll intro. What's up?
We're back, baby.
Hey, you sound better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to go to the gym and it was a no-go.
Needless to say.
Needless to say, I was like, this will be my last breath I ever take. So I left.
Yeah. You got out as fast as you got in there.
I got on the elliptical, I hit start, and then I did about 2 steps, and my lungs were like, "Hey, hey, hey, funny
You
story.
you're
We're
like
not
that.
ready for this."
Yeah, you were like that Homer meme where he walks out of the bushes and then like goes back into the bushes right away.
Yes, that's what it felt like, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm back again with my fake brows and fake lips on for those of you watching on YouTube.
So I was gonna ask because I'm used to the fake brows, but you moved real quick at the start and looked like you had fake lips too.
Who knows, Jake?
Yeah.
Who knows?
You're
Sometimes
supposed to
for the
say
pod, I like to look a little bit nice.
you're supposed to say all natural. It's all
All
me.
natural, baby. All natural.
And then you'll laugh and tilt your head
Ha
back.
ha ha.
Your brows will just
Well,
stay.
not now. Well, now that you say that, no, I'll be paranoid this entire episode. These brows aren't going anywhere.
Just stay very still.
Stay very, very still.
I
So I
you
guess you saw in other news
well, I mean, I'll
that
edit it to where
Zach Bryan promised a release of a song
I heard
if
it.
something happened during the football game the other night.
He posted one this morning or yesterday.
Why
Blue
do you think he did that?
Blue Jean Baby.
If you are a real Zach Bryan fan, you'll know why he posted that song. Because of the football game.
Oh yeah, he said I released it because the Eagles won.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he said the Maggie Rogers song he posted after an Eagles win. So
Yep.
being on brand.
Yep, I was like, oh, Jake is gonna fangirl over ZB again.
It's a good song. It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Now, he did cover that song Rattlesnake by What's His Face, and I did not realize how good Zach Bryan, I like his version better. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
good.
I'll have to listen to the Rattlesnake song. I don't think I caught that one.
I might put it on my songs tonight.
Oh, okay. Uh,
I've got some other gems. Speaking of merch.
Speaking of merch, randomly came up, but we have a merch store.
Oops.
Oops,
We have
float.com,
merch now.
floatpod.com.
Yeah.
So check that out.
So
Got some orders, so it's gonna be fun to see people and in the hood.
yes, if you did order something, I think that's something we really need to emphasize that we want to see you in the merch and put it on our story.
Yeah, that
Don't
would
be
be fun.
embarrassed. You're gonna look awesome. We're gonna put it on the story. We're loving it.
Yeah.
And we
Well,
appreciate that from everybody.
yeah. Well, this guest, this
These guests,
these guests were, I think, our
2.0.
second episode or third episode, like first guest,
Oh, it was fresh.
fresh.
The-
We
We were fresh. The business was semi-fresh, I believe. They can correct me if I'm wrong.
they were at it for a while, but they were like building. They've been building.
Yeah, yeah. It was a slow build. It was a slow
Um,
build,
yeah,
but
and
it's not now, let me tell you. I don't know if you've looked at the stats. I
numbers.
don't want to give
uh,
a float pod credit, and I wouldn't.
we wouldn't do that.
We wouldn't, because really, it's not because of us. But
Sure,
anyways,
there was other factors, but I mean, it couldn't have hurt.
it couldn't have hurt the rep.
No.
Um, well, now they're huge.
Yeah. So we talk
Just
about
want to say,
Alka every other episode or so.
yeah,
In some way it comes up, and
yeah,
they've had a lot of changes over the last year and a half, I think, since we talked to them. So
yeah.
thought we would do like a Alka 2.0 episode.
Alka 2.0.
That's a good name for the episode, right? Alka 2.0.
Yeah, Alka 2.0. and now they have 18,700 followers.
Yeah.
I wish we would have remembered what it was in the like when we first did the pod. But like, I mean, we have one reel on here that they did that they're going to tell us more about who they are, but 14.5 million views.
I want to know how to do a 14 million view
Reel.
So we're
I
gonna
guess you got to be real persnickety and like, look what we have that you want to have or that you don't have.
no, they're probably just gonna
People-
come on and be like, gush about how great they're doing.
Right? And now this, and now here we are.
Here we go. This ought to be rich.
You're right.
All right, let's cut the crap. Let's welcome Paul and Sara back to the pod.
Cut the calca. Get on here.
Hey.
Woo!
How was that for an intro?
Oh man.
Great.
That was awesome. My gut hurts already.
Oh,
You
good.
guys
That was great.
are killing it.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's all Melissa. It's all Sara.
I could not believe. I texted Jake. I was like, you realize that they have views going into the millies. We're going into the millies here. Come on. Fame.
So I can tell you how that happened if you want to recreate the drama.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, let's do a test. Tell us what you did, and then tell us what we should do for a post, and then we'll track it and see what kind of numbers we get.
Okay.
Okay, so what you have to do is you have to create a product
Oh,
that looks
already
a lot like a nicotine pouch.
oh, look.
People really mistook our product for something else.
Okay,
And
okay.
because at the time we only had about 450 followers on Instagram, I gave zero context to what we were doing. We were just putting this little sachet into our
Drink.
cocktails.
Uh-huh.
And people thought two things. They thought that Paul was putting a nicotine pouch in his drink. And if they didn't think that, they thought that he was roofing my drink.
Yep.
So basically you just have to be a very innocent mind and create a product that you don't know what. I don't know what those things look like. I've never
So
seen
now
it.
that you say that, I do work with a guy who uses Zen.
Yeah.
The Zens,
Mhm.
and they literally are a white pouch that looks exactly like your product.
Yeah.
So I get.
Zen.
So they thought you guys were putting a nicotine pouch in their drink
Yeah.
for a little extra kick.
What is a nicotine pouch? Now I just don't. Now I'm like,
Like-
what is that?
It's like the people that used to chew. Now it's like a pouch, so it's not so gross looking, and then it's
Cute.
just like a nicotine portal.
Adorable. Adorable. Yeah.
I didn't know either, and so I went and I don't want to mislead anybody, and I can count them out if we need to. But I did go buy some. I bought some Zin
Did.
because I heard about it on the. People were like, "That's a Zin, ZY," and I'm like, "Zin." So I asked the boys, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a nicotine pouch," and I'm like, "Well, that's if it looks like Alkaa, I kind of want to see it." And sure
Yeah.
enough,
He wanted the manufacturing. He wanted to see how they put their pouch together.
That's
so
true.
He
That's
bought
true.
it strategically. Of course, we're not going to use it.
Yeah, no,
No. It
condone
was
it.
for business purposes.
Yeah.
only.
Business purposes.
It was a
only.
write-off. Yeah.
It was a write-off. It was for science.
What do they call that?
Everybody calm down.
Market research.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A little
yeah.
market research. So
Uh,
now to bring us up to date to now, first we need to have you tell us again, give us a refresher, of course,
Yeah.
of Alkaa,
Mhm.
what it is, and why it's so useful.
Oh my goodness. So I'll jump in. So when we were, I think it was a year ago, right, that we were here around there.
Maybe
Year and
so.
a half ago.
Year and a half.
Is it a year and a half. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So Alkaa simply is just a sachet or like a tea bag that you put into an alcoholic drink. So wine, beer, spirits, cocktail, and it absorbs the toxins that are known to cause headaches, hangovers, flushing, congestion, and other sensitivities.
And when we say hangover, this is not the kind of hangover that you get because you drank too much. We're talking the hangover that you get just from simply having any amount of alcohol and having a bad reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that.
You made that clear when there was a couple questions where people like we were laughing earlier because, you know, you invent this amazing product and people are like, well, I'm not planning on getting drunk.
Yeah.
And you guys are like, right, neither are we. And that's not what we're doing here. So again, to be clear, if you're having 19 gin and tonics, this
Mhm.
won't do.
No.
That's
No,
right.
it's for people that actually have correct me if I'm wrong, an intolerance to certain things in alcohol, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Intolerance. And intolerance is usually something a little bit more heavy. Like Asians have an intolerance towards alcohol because they can't process
Oh,
acetaldehyde. Um,
oh, okay.
most of us, like, I don't think I have an intolerance, but I have sensitivities. So sensitivities, it's like allergic, intolerant sensitivity.
Okay.
So I think I'm more sensitive. Like I don't feel good.
Yeah.
But Alka takes the object is to allow people to drink without feeling awful. And come to find out, a lot of people, for I mean, let's just say you start drinking when you're 21 and
Hmm.
you have a beer or you have some cocktails or some whiskey, and most of the time you just don't feel great afterwards. Not hungover,
Right.
but you just don't feel good, and that's just part of it. Like, you want
Right.
to enjoy some alcohol, you're going to pay for it. um and we wanted to fix that. We're like, can we just enjoy alcohol, be able to go home or enjoy the evening, and then sleep well, wake up the
Mm,
next day and feel okay,
right.
Feel amazing.
and actually feel amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the start of it. And then um well, it's been word of mouth, right? And
Okay, that
it's
was going to
been,
be another question. Like, how do you feel like it's
yeah.
been spreading so much?
We started selling online. And then we really were looking for reviews, like social proof. Everybody's like, you need social proof. So we started getting reviews. We had a couple 1-star reviews, and then, which is interesting. And so Sarah was really good. She's like, may we please talk to you? Like,
Okay.
can we interview you? Right. So we're like, money back guarantee, questions asked. Right.
Okay. Okay.
That's kind of what I
Nice.
like, hey, did you use, and I wasn't grilling them, but I'm like, hey, did you use it right? How long did you let it sit for? We found out that people were squeezing the sachets after they soaked up everything, because, like a tea bag, some people squeeze the tea bag and then some people actually suck the tea bag to get all the tea out. So they
Right.
use a tea bag and they're like, I'm going to get out all my wine or my beer or my
Which,
whiskey.
to be fair, you say do not squeeze the tea bag.
Thanks to a customer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our customers are so amazing. They let us ask all these questions and we've learned a lot from them.
That's cool.
So that now we
Yeah.
know how to better prepare new customers so they can have the best experience.
Crazy.
Yeah, don't squeeze your sachets, people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't suck on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our friends was like, it's working, but not that well. And we're like,
Okay.
well, tell us about it. And he's like, well, then
They come to find out he's
what
sucking.
is his wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, you're probably not supposed to do
Yeah, you're
that.
probably not supposed to suck on it. And we're like, what?
You're like, so you're taking all the toxins
Yeah.
out and then
In
you're just sucking them
concentrated
right
form.
back in,
Yeah.
all nice and concentrated for a headache.
Concentrated. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So reviews were coming in. We were selling more online. And then we started posting, right? Instagram. Trying to figure out the algorithm, watching all the YouTube videos on how many times to post a day, what to post. Be
Mhm.
yourself, be natural. Don't worry about how you sound or how you look. So after, like, inundating myself and Sarah kind of on our own, because I was working, she was working. I'd come home and I'd be like, okay, we need to post on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram,
Right.
YouTube, everything.
Yeah.
And we just didn't have the energy or time or bandwidth to be able to do that. So we're like, let's focus on Instagram, and then I'm going to focus on education, because
Okay.
I think if people feel comfortable, I wanted to build trust. First thing for me was to build trust, and I'm like, they have to trust the voice, the face, the
What
sign,
I'm saying, what we're offering is
product.
real.
Yeah. And so I look at the market, there's ZBiotics and there's a couple other brands that do something similar, right? They promise you feel better after you drink. And so I looked at them, and some of them are like very well funded, so they're fancy, right? They've got a marketing team, they've got great cameras, they've got and some of them are, college kid oriented, like you can drink as much as you want. And then wake up and we're like, that's not what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys know our audience. We just want like the moderate,
normal Joe Schmo.
kind of the normal Joe Schmo, but that ranges from the 21-year-old up to the 65-year-old. So our normal Joe Schmo is a wide audience, but we're like, how do we create trust? How do we build value? How do we introduce this product?
Yeah.
If you don't trust it, you're not going to believe it. If it's not solving a problem, you're not going to buy it. So,
and it's tricky. Alcohol is a really tricky space, and especially right now.
It is.
So to try and talk about it in a way that is respectful and nuanced and doesn't promote binge culture.
Totally.
It's very tricky.
Yeah.
And especially too, I think because people even younger generations now are either still doing the binge drinking, they're partying hard, or you do have this new influx of people that are like, I'm doing dry January and I'm 23, right? Yeah. And it might be more, rare, more bingers, I guess, but it does seem like you could almost attract the people that are more health conscious, that are like, I'm still trying to get up in the morning and go do yoga or whatever.
Yeah.
And they still want to be able to go have fun with their girlfriends that night or something,
And
I feel like
you're right.
Audience,
and that is 100%, I should say 100% our audience, but that's our audience. We're looking for the people that know they don't feel good after a couple glasses of wine. Right. Yeah. And that come to find out, it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But building that trust, because we're asking somebody, and this is where it gets funny, is that we're asking somebody to spend good money on a product, put it in your drink, trust us enough, because we're not telling you what it is, right? And then drink your drink. So it's a tough sell. I really wish we could say what was in it, and I think we will here soon enough.
But for now,
but
everybody has a right to have their little
thing. We have customers that are like, I'm not going to buy it until I know what's in it. And I'm like,
I was just talking to a guy today, and I was like, I know it's
really?
I know it's a deal breaker for a lot of people. It's okay. We're just trying to protect the second that patent is out, it's gonna get ripped off.
Okay. Is there anything you could say about the ingredients, like to maybe put people at ease? That's not saying what it is, but maybe origins of it, or
making them feel better.
So there's technically 5 ingredients. 2 of those are really similar. And these are ingredients that you guys, if you have a refrigerator with a water filter, you're going to have some filter media in there that is really similar. So it's a filter media. The other ingredients are
FDA compliant.
Yeah, they're FDA compliant, so they're generally recognized as safe by the FDA. They're things that you can buy, and people ingest these for like health reasons, to help fat and to help cleanse their bodies. So all of these things, besides the filter media, are things that people buy and eat.
It's a regular thing.
So and nothing in Alkaa is ingested. So
okay.
It's just Alka's it just grabs the toxins and you take them out. And the other 3 ingredients, you guys, are, I mean, I didn't come up with them. They've been in nature for billions of years. And we're just utilizing them to grab histamines, acetaldehyde, and sulfites. That's all we're doing. We're grabbing them, taking them out of the drink, and that's it. It's not fancy. And it is science, but it's not. When we do release it, I think people are going to be like,
oh,
yeah, right.
Well, in a weird way, it's like, I don't really want you to ever say it all. I would rather people be like, well, I'm not going to buy it until I know. Okay, then don't buy it.
Kind of. Yeah.
Like, it's our thing. It's not like we've worked hard on this for years. Like, we have.
Yeah.
So it's not really fair to be like, you better tell me. You better tell me what it is. Then keep drinking your wine and have a headache. I don't know.
That's what's funny to me is, but then again, I also know what's in it, and so it's easy for me to.
Right.
But doing the research that we have done on alcohol, and
Oh man,
it is a neurotoxin, and then the things that are in alcohol, they're not good. They're not great. But so then I look at our ingredients and I'm like, this is not what people should be.
that's a good point. Our
Yeah.
ingredients compared to alcohol,
Like what's
alcohol's
worse?
way
Like-
it's poison.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so true though.
How would
Oh.
you say, so we interviewed you like a year and a half ago. Has the product changed in the last year and a half? Like, what have maybe been the major improvements or changes over the last year and a half from where you guys were then?
So I'll start, and then I think Sarah should jump in. So there's this wine bar in Florida, New York, and the owners are really cool. It's like a piano wine bar, and it's super fun to go to.
They're both sommeliers.
Yeah, they're both sommeliers, and so they wanted to sell Alkaa, but they're like, hey, we want to try it first. And so me and Sarah went there, and they opened up a really nice bottle of wine. Sarah, Tom, and Aaron were sitting down. I was behind, and I had 4 glasses of wine, and it was like, will you guys be able to tell which one is treated and which one is not? And Tom, the owner, could. Now, he doesn't have any alcohol intolerance. Like, he can drink whatever and he's fine. But he was smelling, and right away he was like, this is the one that's treated with Alkaa.
Okay.
And then he tasted
after he tasted it.
And then he tasted it, and he's like, this is the one. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
Wow.
And he's like, I can tell.
Which is something I had been telling Paul. Like, I can tell.
You can tell.
But when someone else said,
Ouch.
and so it was back to the drawing board, and so we judged up our process.
Sarah judged.
Okay.
And as soon
You
as
actually did. You, Sarah, also were kind of like, saw this coming. We'll go ahead and address it.
Yeah.
Which is
Because you felt differently about it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I really feel like our new iteration it's phenomenal. Like, I can say that without reservation. Will a sommelier still be able to tell? Probably, because they have that training.
Right.
So, but me, I am so happy with our new iteration.
Okay.
So
That's really exciting.
Yeah, October was our date where we got rid of all of our old sachets and began making new ones. So if anybody has ordered prior to October,
And they need to reorder.
give us a try if you tried it before and you want to see the difference.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if anybody's watching and they did smell or taste something that they're just like, this isn't right, reach out to Sarah and then we'll make it.
I don't think anybody was saying.
I don't remember. I mean, with mine that I got that you sent me, I never could tell a difference.
Okay, good.
And we had like a nice bottle of wine that we had saved from Portugal, and I used it in that and felt really good after, which was great because I didn't want to feel bad having this nice bottle of wine that we waited and waited to drink, and then for me and Darren to have it and then to be like, well, I guess I'll feel crappy tomorrow. So then to not feel bad, I couldn't tell anything. I was just so happy.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, so I couldn't. Now that was the first experience you were mentioning about with the first sommelier. Was there another one? Because I thought you said 2 wine bars or just one.
That was just one.
just
we need
the
to go
one.
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should do another taste test with them.
Yeah, it's a marked difference though. Like, it's
Okay.
as soon as Sarah figured it out and then we tasted it and I was like,
Okay.
oh. Now,
This is mega.
if you let that, and then we tested it again too. So we sent the new recipe back to the testing lab, did a whole nother round of testing, which takes a lot of time. And then the numbers came back, Melissa, and the numbers were way better than before.
Wildly
In
good.
fact,
Oh, wow.
So good that some of the stuff we were reducing 100%, like histamine, 100% gone. And I was like,
What?
is this gonna now we're like,
Wow.
it's like super sucker,
Yeah.
like all the bad
Oh,
stuff.
amazing.
Like,
Okay.
I was like, man, is it going to change the taste? So if you let that set, if you love the taste of wine and you really want that vinter like mouth feel, and you want to feel good afterwards, 5 minutes. Like put it in for 5, stir it around, and then take it out.
Don't guess.
Because if you leave it in for longer than 5, it really smooths out the wine. And
it will continue extracting.
By smooth, I mean it.
It's too smooth for me. Like I like a tannic wine.
You like a little bit of that.
That
bite. Yeah. It takes the bitey out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and that is what it says on the if you read the directions, you leave it in for 5 minutes. You don't squeeze it. You don't squeeze the stinking sachet. It kills me that they were like what? What are you doing? Wild man.
I'm glad that somebody finally told us what they were doing.
No kidding.
We would still just not.
Like, what's wrong? And then little things that come up, we're addressing, like the issues that come up. Some people are like, it didn't work for me, or it worked on, some things, but I still have flushing. And so we, that's hard for, like, as the inventor, I want it to work for everybody. Like, but it doesn't. So we're addressing these things as they come up. We talk about it. We'll do a post on Instagram. Moving the sachet. Some people weren't moving it enough. And it is a filter. So if that wine doesn't slosh through it, it's not going to grab everything, right? So we're really focusing on the movement and the timing, just the little things. But
we want people to try it. So try it, and if it doesn't work for you, we give you your money back. That's our policy.
Yeah.
Do you always recommend to put it into a poured drink, or would you pour it over to kind of have it touch more of the wine, or does that matter?
I don't know that it matters.
I don't know if it matters, Jake.
We've done both.
Yeah, there's some products out there where it's like a pod, and then you pour the wine through it. And I tested it. Like we tested it for 5 minutes, even though in real life it's only a couple seconds that the wine is filtering through. I tested it for 5 minutes, and it was awful.
I can't imagine that doing a good job considering the way yours is manufactured. I mean, like it's literally going. Yeah, I mean, it's like a tea bag. You can't get a better filtration if you're doing it properly, if you're swooshing it around. Right? I mean, we even got bigger wine glasses. So you drop the sachet in and you do your usual little woo, woo, woo. And that baby's making its rounds.
Yeah.
It's doing the job.
And Melissa, did it work for you?
Alkaa? Yeah, it works for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, normally if we have, I mean, like I can drink some wine. I'm not a crazy person, but I can drink some wine. But as a rule, now that I've gotten older, past 23, then I can tell. I can tell. I mean, I'm at 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. girl, wide awake, cannot go back to sleep. Sugar is just through the roof. Insulin's all over the place. And so for me, that was the part that I was like, I'm gonna see if this is going to either one, make it not happen, because sometimes it'll happen it can be like a hormonal thing, I'm sure, as well. But the fact is that adding in the wine can make it so much worse. So it either one, didn't happen, or it might have been a normal evening when it would have happened either way. So to me, that's a win-win. I'm taking the chances down instead of like amplifying them by having wine. So it worked for me. Yeah. I mean, I've sent it to quite a few of our friends that are even on their kind of like health journey. I mean, Chelsea definitely is the first, I feel like the OG that talked to me about it. And then I started using them. And then I started telling a couple of friends of ours that were like, we're not going to be drinking anymore because they can't handle like the after effects of it, even 1 or 2 glasses of wine. So and that's when I was like, oh, well, you should really try this. We have this whole podcast on this. And so they listened to it and then they were like, oh, okay. And then I even had I think I had 2. And I said I was willing to spare them recently. I was like, I'm going to share, but this isn't going to happen again. And so that, just that kind of like slowly letting people try it out if they have a question, I think it's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we have some exciting news too. Well,
for us, it's exciting.
yeah, for us, it's exciting.
Hopefully,
Okay.
you
If
guys.
it's merch, don't step on our toes. All right.
It's-
No.
it's
Oh my
not-
God.
it's
Can you
not merch.
imagine?
not
They sell
merch.
all their merch out.
I'm
Ours is
just
still
kidding.
getting cobwebs.
So Paul's been working on a report, and this report does a deep dive into the toxins, because a lot of people just don't really know why alcohol doesn't, makes them not feel well, and they make an assumption that it's the ethanol, but it probably isn't, according to our research. So, and the other thing that people think is that they think it's the sulfites, but it may not be the sulfites after all.
Really?
So he's coming out with this report, and he also is publishing the data, how our sachet works compared to our competitors.
Yeah.
Where will this get published, or what's the avenue?
Yeah, we need
Get
the
that out there?
link.
So it'll be living on our website. I think I'll set up a mini chat, so on Instagram people can comment, and then it'll automatically get sent to them, because we want to get the information into the hands of people that want to read about it, and it's not super salesy. I feel like you did a really good job with that. Like, there is like a paragraph at the end, and then the charts, obviously they are salesy by their nature, just because they're comparing, and the sachets work really, really well.
Yeah.
So that leads us to our next announcement.
What is what?
You quit your job.
Oh
Paul quit
my
his job.
gosh.
Here's Paul working like 60 hours a week and
Yeah.
practically dying from Lyme disease, and I'm doing alcohol by myself.
And you're like, that's really cute.
Okay.
So I got home and Sarah's
Hey,
like,
we love the vulnerability.
yeah. She's like, I've got an idea. And I was like, oh, what is it? And she's like, you quit your job and just come to work for Alkaa full time. And I was like,
well, full time.
Full time.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's no big deal, babe.
There's no
Quit your job.
Yeah. How are we going to pay the bills? I mean, all of the questions, right? They come up of like, that's not going to work.
Of course.
And then the boys jump in. They're like, Dad, you need to quit. You can come to work for us. You can, and so that was
work for us.
That was Friday.
That was Friday.
So
was it like Sarah being like, you can come work for me, and then Julian was like, you can come work for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then we arm wrestled each other, and I won.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Paul went from one boss to two bosses.
Exactly.
So like
He's so stressed at this point. He has so many irons and so many fires right now. All the family needs him. He's wild.
So that weekend we happened to have record sales, like record sales. And then Monday he had a doctor appointment. Okay. And what does your doctor tell you?
Oh man. So
word for word, the doctor said,
you need to get out of there.
He says this, quit your job.
He's like, when did these symptoms start? And I was like, August 1st. And he's like, did anything change around August? And I was like, yeah, I started a new job. And he's like, tell me about the environment. And I was like, it's not good.
So it's not like a toxic environment. It's like breathing in bad materials and like.
Okay, so the materials, it's not good for your body.
Yeah. It's a roofing company, right? So
it's a roofing company. There's tons of materials it's not clean. The building's old.
Oh God.
And all these things that I'm just like, whatever, didn't even cross my mind until he said that. And then it was like epiphany. And I'm like,
I need to quit this job.
But this is on the back of probably 20 different doctor visits.
Oh my word.
Plus the Lyme disease stuff that's going on. So it's not like he just came up with this on a whim,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little crazy.
Yeah.
But then that weekend, because Friday happened, and then Sarah's like, you should quit. And then I was like, here's what we would need to do this.
Right.
And it was exactly.
It happened.
It happened, and it hasn't happened every day since, which it doesn't need to. I just needed to see that it could happen.
Oh wow.
And it did. And I was like, when your mind's blown, when you physically see something, you don't, first of all, I wasn't feeling good. This comes up. Alkaa is going viral. And I'm like, how is this going to help us? Sarah says, quit. And I'm like, in order for it to quit, we need to sell 10 orders a day.
So basically what you're saying is like, okay, we're having this horrific couple days, health-wise, everything. Things seem to be lining up where you're like, I hear you, Sarah. I want to do that. However, in order for that to work, it's going to have to be such a very clear, this is what needs to happen, almost not reasonable, but then it did.
Mhm.
So then you're like, oh, I'm quitting. Bye bye.
And that was really tough for me because I
Okay.
worked.
He's a worker.
I'm a worker for, the last 30 years. Like,
You
and,
can't
and
just be at home and be like, this is a new fun thing, or I'm just hanging out
yeah,
with these sachets. It's
yeah,
like, wait, what am I doing?
yeah. And I've had decent jobs, and this is really tough to say.
Mm.
But when you have a decent job and you work hard and you provide, you're not relying on Jehovah as much as you could or should. It's just
Well, it's only when you kind of let the net come out from under you that then you're like, oh, so you were here this whole time.
safety net gone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Safety net's gone. You're on your own.
And it and it happened within hours.
That is
Like,
amazing.
it was just like, okay, and then this happened, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
That is so
You've got to be kidding
cool.
me. And I've had insurance for 30 years.
Okay.
And now after I quit and I've got Lyme disease, I won't have insurance. But you know what? I'm not worried about it.
We'll get the state insurance.
You're gonna get insurance through Alkaa. Alkaa's gonna secure everything.
Right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm not like the worry and the stress of just everything.
Yeah.
And to be able to work with Sarah.
Yeah.
And to be able to just be more healthy. Like sometimes I need to sleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just can't, I shouldn't be pushing as hard as I push. So I need to be able to just kind of chill.
Right.
And this is going to be really fun. Mm-hmm. And I get to work with my boys.
Yeah, this is exciting.
It's going to be super fun.
Yeah, we're thrilled for you guys. That is wild.
Thanks, guys.
It is.
That's been pretty fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's going to be so epic now. Like, you're just going to get into your little routine. You're going to be having your little robe on throughout the day. Oh, just doing some testing. Sarah's like, have we given up wearing jeans? We used to wear jeans.
Well, part of the reason why I think the Instagram thing is working is because we do a lot of engagement there. And so it is a really good reason to put your makeup on in the morning. Not your makeup, Paul, but
yeah.
Either way, no judgment. No.
Yeah. Yeah. The Instagram, Sarah nailed it. She started the video and it started to go crazy. And then we just started doing the video replies. People had questions. We would do a video reply, and I really think that
I mean, that skyrocketed. I mean, I don't know, Jake, you've been busy today, but like if you go look like through it, a lot of the videos, which I find is so easy to binge those videos. I binge watched your reels because I just got addicted to hearing answers to questions.
Nice.
Right?
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I just scrolled down and scrolled down and scrolled down, and then there was just like one after another where I'm like, oh, it's another question. Oh, it's another question that I want to hear that. Oh, here's another. And then where you did here's what the sachet looks like. Here's the size of it. This is how much alcohol you should be having in this one and that one, da-da-da. So I was like, oh yeah, that's informative. Let me have a look at that. I mean, it went on and on. Red wine makes me sneeze, like the one lady. And I was like, what? That's crazy. Let me take a look. Like, I don't have that problem, but I wanted to know what you were going to say. Yeah. So I feel like that was a great plug in to just keep answering all the questions. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that part's
I think that is what took us.
Good job, Sarah.
The next level.
Yeah.
We got a couple questions today because I asked.
We did. Jake's so involved. We got a couple of questions today. Jake you need maybe a wine without the Alkaa, okay? Soon enough. Okay, what were the questions?
Honest.
Hey, we got a couple questions today.
Hey.
Awesome.
We got a couple questions. We're just mad really at your fame. That's all. We haven't got anything going viral right now. Okay, go ahead, Jake.
Someone asked about they wake up at night for after drinking wine.
Yeah.
Is that something that comes from the toxins? Is that something that helps using Alka? Does it keep you asleep at night? Do you know the origins of people waking up like that in the middle of the night?
Yeah, that's a really good one. And that's really common now that we're getting more and more questions.
Mhm.
So alcohol makes you feel tired, right? You have a couple beers at night, you're like, man, I feel tired. I'm going to sleep. Amazing. But it doesn't, alcohol does not allow you to get into deep sleep. It keeps you like skipping right above it.
Sedatives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sedative. For those that like that. No, alcohol, and it's the acetaldehyde. So acetaldehyde of all of the toxins is the worst. And so I remember it, well, because I say it all the time, but I just like saying the word acetaldehyde. But it is definitely the worst. So really quick thing, when wine's made, when it's fermented, acetaldehyde's created. And then when you drink ethanol, your liver, when it absorbs the alcohol, it creates acetaldehyde. So it's a kind of a 1-2 punch, like boom, boom.
Oh.
And then that in turn with the histamine and the tyramine releases norepinephrine and epinephrine, adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
And so your body's trying to go to sleep. You won't get into deep sleep. You'll have you won't have good rest. And then a lot of people wake up with a headache because your blood vessels are now constricted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you wake up with a throbbing headache because your blood vessels will be constricted. But then alcohol is also a vasodilator, so it makes your blood vessels bigger. So that throbbing headache that you get is real. Have you had, like, if you've had that, and you're like, I'm never drinking again.
Oh yeah.
All my family, these are my last word. Like,
bye everyone.
Bye. Right.
Yeah.
So basically, your blood vessels are bigger, but they're still constricted. So they're just like trying to release, and they can't.
Yeah.
And that's that feeling.
And this, you guys, in the study that we're releasing, it's all in there. Like, here's what alcohol does to your cardiovascular system, your GI tract, your skin, your heart, it's so cool. Like, it's 19 pages of absolute nerd fest about alcohol.
It's so informative about alcohol.
It is.
Can you record it so I can just listen to it? Like
read it?
An audiobook?
We did the audiobook.
Can you do an audiobook? Put it on Spotify.
Oh,
it's a good idea. And there's 94 references. So it's a report, but it's more of just taking all of these studies over decades and just piecing it together in a way that makes sense to the normal person that doesn't feel good when they drink.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so gotcha. Jake, to answer your question, Alka will definitely help you sleep better at night.
And I can attest to that too, because now that I am 51 and into the whole perimenopause, menopause stuff, that already ruins your sleep just because of hormonal reasons. And then if you put alcohol on top of that, just forget about having any kind of
nightmare.
Sleep. So it still shocks me how well I sleep when I use Alka. It shocks me. So I could be case. I mean, I know it's my product, but still, I'm not going to lie about it. If it doesn't work for my sleep, but it helps me with everything else, I would totally say that. But no, it's fantastically.
Yeah.
And then someone, or Malika in London, said that she wants to check it out because she said she's been using a teaspoon. Like, do people just stir a spoon into their?
So there's a product called the Wine Wand. The Wine Wand. And I bought that years ago when I was starting to do my, I bought it because I'm like, oh, it says that it takes headaches away. And it's this little spoon that you stir for 3 minutes. And it didn't work that well for me. It helped, but it didn't truly help. The Alka sachet, and in the study, we test the Wine Wand.
Oh, okay.
And just so, because, man, I am not an aggressive person by nature.
I am.
Sarah is. But on this one, I'm
But
like,
you're like, but we're winning.
I heard Chelsea kind of laugh.
I just like being nice. But on this one, a lot of the YouTube guys were like, you need to have the evil, there needs to be the good. And I was like, yeah. So we're calling some people out. And I give them the benefit of the doubt. I test it for longer than they say. I'm really nice about it. I'm like, just FYI, just to compare.
But Alkaa is landslide.
So acetaldehyde, the worst of the worst, the products that we test increase the acetaldehyde up to 78%.
Oh, wow.
So the lab that did that testing, they actually redid the testing because they were so shocked by those numbers.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
So it doesn't pull it at all. It adds to it.
Do you know why?
What?
He said, so I was talking to the scientist, the lab lady, and she's like, first of all, we retested it because we thought we did something wrong. And she goes, there's something in the product, and they don't disclose what is in theirs either. At least we're like, here's kind of what ours is. Theirs is nothing. She goes, there's something in there that is degrading the alcohol and turning it into acetaldehyde, like what your liver would do, right? It's creating acetaldehyde as soon as they put it into the wine. So she's like, I don't know what's in it. I think it's a pharmaceutical grade hydrogen peroxide. That's what I think. I think they're dipping their product in hydrogen peroxide. It dries. And then when you put hydrogen peroxide, when you put their product that's been dipped in hydrogen peroxide, it will it's supposed to kill the sulfites and turn it into sulfate, which is just an inert material. But I can't figure it out because I've read through their patent and it's kind of tricky. But I think that there's something in there that they're doing, and
it's not working.
It's not working that well. And acetaldehyde of everything, like forget the sulfites. Who cares? Get rid of the acetaldehyde because that will give your body a fighting chance to be able.
And they just amped it up.
Dude,
how
crazy.
Weird.
Yeah. No, I was that face right there. I was the same. And I was like, Tori, did you retest this? And she's like, we retested it. And
still bad.
Still bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the facts are the facts, folks.
So that's good to know.
Yeah, and we are shipping to London.
So that was my next question. Do you ship international or at least to the UK?
So Sara came up. So the first couple shipments international didn't work that well because we were shipping UPS. Mm-hmm. People would get a bill afterwards for customs duties, taxes. Still, there was just there wasn't a lot of transparency because we're like, we've never done this before.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
so
right.
Sara, on the Shopify site or on the website, when you order, there's a list of countries that we ship to. And if you put the products in your cart.
Now, we go through a company that's part of Shopify called Managed Markets. They take care of everything. You know exactly what it's going to be up front, and you pay it up front. There's nothing.
Okay.
There's nothing
it's
later.
Awesome.
So
amazing.
Yeah,
you know exactly what it is.
Where are you shipping to?
Everywhere. We have shipped to Australia, Denmark, Sweden, Poland, France, UK.
United Arab Emirates,
Dubai.
Oh wow!
Several orders to Dubai.
Yeah.
All over. I can't even. I've lost track.
It's cool.
I mean, killing it, you guys.
So that
it's exciting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because last time we
talked,
it was I don't even think we were selling online yet. I think we were just about to get going.
Yeah.
You were kind of like, okay, we're dabbling in this and it's going somewhere and we're gonna see what's up. And now, bam, bada boom, bada bing. Sara running the show,
running it.
Job. She's out here just placing these orders worldwide.
Crazy.
We'll get to Pioneer together. And
that's the other thing.
Amazing.
We started regular auxiliary pioneering.
So if Pulse Health can get on track and we can improve that, then we can do regular in September. But
what a massive change.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Phew.
It's a lot. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
well,
awesome.
we've been married for, well, it'll be 30 years in May,
Mhm.
but we've never pioneered together ever.
And now it's like finally everything's happening. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. What huge milestones. Amazing, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, because it's such an issue up here with Lymes, I wanted to ask about that. But before I do, was there anything else you wanted to maybe cover with Alka? We'll post the website and the Instagram and all that.
No, I think the report, I'm really excited about the report
The
because
report, yeah.
it's just a really fun, well, to me, it's fun. It's just a very educational read about what alcohol does to the body. And we've joked about it. Like, I don't think I'm going to drink much anymore because when you read the report, you're like, oh my word.
So
This
it's almost
is
like,
horrific for me.
so the report is almost not even, I mean, it's centric to what you sell, but it's also just informative.
Yeah. At the very end, Jake, I'm like, at the beginning, I'm like, hey, this is a report on what alcohol is and what it can do to you. And at the very, very end, I'm like, if you want to feel better after you drink, after reading all this and seeing the testing reports that what Alka can do, give us a shout. I think you're going to feel better. But that's it. It's more 100% educational.
So you're like almost going full Huberman.
He's going full Huberman on us.
That is Huberman, Alex Formosi, Gary Vee, anybody who gives free education.
Oh, well, he's talking about Huberman is like anti-alcohol.
Oh,
No,
I thought you meant educational. Like,
no, I just mean like
Yeah, that too.
Well, yeah, that too. Huberman basically is I don't think he would say he's anti-alcohol, but he'll spend
He's very, very blunt.
He did an alcohol episode and he talked for 2.5 hours, and he basically just gives you all the facts, and all the facts kind of add up to, for someone like him, like you wouldn't, sort of like the conclusion you came up with, where it's just
it's pretty bad.
And it's pretty bad.
And what's exciting about it is it's bad, but then in the testing, we're like, hey, it's bad, and here's why. Here are the things that make it bad. Here's the testing and all the things that are now like, whew, like there's just a little bit left. And here's some, we don't even put reviews in there. We're just like, make your
call.
If you don't feel good when you drink and you read this, give it a try.
Right.
The worst that could happen is you spend $30, it doesn't work, you get your money back. The best thing is could happen, you spend $30, you wake up feeling like a hero.
Amazing.
Like you just feel amazing.
Hey.
Yeah.
And the fact
Pick your poison. It's like
thousands of years people have drank alcohol, and if you can manage those immediate symptoms,
right.
You know that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with having a couple of drinks a week, and
and putting my little sachet,
put my sachet in it.
Yep.
The sachet, and then it's fine. Otherwise, no.
Well, we're good.
Right. Again, you need the sachet, folks. That's what we're getting at.
You need a sachet.
Right.
So, Paul, you had quite the bout of Lymes. Was that
Jake?
Over the summer?
It was, yeah. 6 months ago, almost to the day
that you were diagnosed.
That I knew I had it. I'd had it for quite some time before then.
So you told me the story a couple months ago.
Yeah.
The waking up in the morning to
want
to brush your teeth, and
oh my god,
woke up at 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, went into the bathroom, and something was wrong with my face.
It was paralyzed.
Half of it was paralyzed.
He goes in and he's like, I think I need to go to the doctor. Oh, and he had just quit his job, and this was like day 3 of no insurance. And we've had insurance since we've been married. Like every single day we've had insurance.
Of course.
Day 3, no insurance. His face is paralyzed, and we got to go
to the ER.
Well, we went to the urgent care, and they're like, oh, we think he's having a stroke. You need to go to the ER.
So the night before this happened, and this was part of Lymes, which I didn't know because I didn't know I had Lymes at this point. I had a really, really bad shoulder ache, like really bad. And so I have muscle relaxers, maybe one a year. maybe one a year. I took one and I went to bed. I woke up, my face is paralyzed. Being a guy, I'm like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, oh, it was more like, oh, I took a muscle relaxer.
Oh my God.
And so it must have worked really good. So you know what I did?
Stop.
I went back to bed and I said a prayer and I was like, please, dear God,
Help my face be okay.
please fix my face.
If
I promise whatever. I was just like, I swear, whatever it takes. Couldn't go to sleep. Woke
I wonder
up,
why.
walked into the bathroom, looked at my face again, and I was like, I'm having a stroke.
So it's still there.
So being a guy, I was like, it's not a stroke because I feel like it's not a stroke. I don't know. It was so. Then I tried to spit.
Nightmare.
I tried to blink. I tried to smile. Tried to do all these things, not working. And so I reluctantly, I walked back into the bedroom, and I was like, "Hey, babe, wake up. I think I need to go to the hospital." She's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "My face is paralyzed." And she's like, "Okay, I think we need to leave and we need to go right now." And I just started a new job. It was my third day, new job.
Unreal.
And so the other guy part of me is like, I'm going to push through. It's going to be fine. I need to go to work. So we went to the urgent care. Urgent care is like, we think you might be having a stroke. So you need to go to the ER. So we go to Middletown Garnet. They call over and they bring out.
Yeah, they're all ready for it.
They're ready for it. They bring out a wheelchair. And I'm like, oh man, some poor sap is going to be getting in the wheelchair. And they bring it over to me. And I'm like, no. And my face is like, so they wheel us back to a room. They do some tests. And he's like, I don't think it's a stroke because I could still move part of my forehead. Part of my forehead moved. Yeah. And so he's like, I don't think it's a stroke. And then I don't remember what happened.
So they ran through a battery of questions. And I mean, we were there for probably 6 or 7 hours, but at one point they started asking about ticks. I was like, in my head, I was like, why do you want to know about the tick bite? Like, obviously that's not the problem. He had a tick bite a long time ago and never even had a rash and he never even got a fever and nothing like that. And so anyways, and like, I'm on a totally different plane of thought. And he's
just going in circles in the wheelchair. He's just like, woo!
No, he's pretty out of it. Like
you're out of it. You're not
he's
even
sleeping in the bed in the ER. And they just keep asking about the tick stuff. And so they had taken his blood already. And so probably
But before that, do you remember this doctor lady? She was the meekest, mildest. I thought she was a nurse, but she was one of the doctors.
Okay.
And she comes in, she goes, did you get bit by a tick? And I was like, yes, I remember there was a tick in my belly button. And she goes, did it present a rash? And I was like, no. She goes, how long was it there? And I was like, I don't know. But I was like, it was weird because, how often do you put your finger in your belly button? And I did. And I was like, that shouldn't be there. And then Sarah was like, well, but don't you remember there was 2 other ticks? And I was like,
are you kidding?
In the worst place that that a man could possibly have a tick bite, that's where the ticks were.
And I was like, she was like, where at specifically? And I was like, well, it rhymes with tick. And she's like, you had 2 ticks? And she's like, what happened? And I was like, well, I took them off. Like,
how do I say this to you?
She's like, she's like, show me on the teddy bear where the ticks were.
So bad, you guys. Did it present a rash? And I was like,
oh my God.
There was no target rash presented.
So
on to
so she goes and does all of her stuff that she needs to do. They wheel in a cart to do the EKG. They're just doing this test and that test. And I think the conversation is completely over, right? Because that was like 3 hours ago. And he's totally crashed out. And she comes in again, very meek and mild, and she can barely speak above a whisper. And she's like, well, we have a definitive answer. He has neurological Lyme. And that was it. That was the
Are you that quick? They said that.
Loaded.
Because it was the blood test was so positive.
Loaded.
What?
So for the last 9 months, I've been chasing, no joke, 20 different issues that I was having. And I have them listed down in my little like notebook. I couldn't keep my balance anymore. One of my toes was like bright red all the time. My back was numb. My eye hurt.
A random list.
And I was going to the doctor.
I love that you're like, oh, you were going to the doctor.
Oh man,
yeah.
I
so many doctors.
Jake's assuming that you would do what he would do, which is just write a list of insanity and then never see a doctor.
And then I'd go in because my face is numb, and they're like, "Are you feeling anything else?" And I'm like, "No." I mean, my back is numb, and my pinky toes.
My pinky toe fell off,
and I can't stand straight up. And
my wife carries me like a baby in her arms.
But you know what? And just to like be serious for a second too. Another part of Lyme that people don't talk about is the depression part and the anxiety part. So there is a whole mental health aspect to Lyme disease that I feel like really does need to have a spotlight shined on it, especially in this area. If somebody's really struggling with mental health stuff,
it could potentially be Lyme.
Yeah, get checked for Lyme. But even if you do get checked for Lyme, there's a good chance that you could be positive and never show as positive. So it's just one of those things where you just have to be alert and then just kind of, if you're chasing symptoms like Paul is, where you're feeling fine one day, terrible the next, you're having pain one day, you're fine the next, and it kind of moves around. That's really indicative of Lyme.
Okay.
So even if you don't have a positive blood test to tell you that it's Lyme, that could be pointing you in the right direction. So
because they do say that it is one of the harder things. Even the doctor doesn't like to necessarily be like, you have Lyme's. Yeah, you're right. They're like, no, we want to talk about all these other different things.
Yep.
Right? And you have to go somewhere special to like where they believe that it's a thing almost.
Yeah.
That was a scary thing that we heard about that.
Yeah, I would still be chasing it had my not had facial palsy.
Yeah.
Okay, so they would have maybe said a million other things, but that thing specifically, they were like, hold on.
Yeah. So something's really wrong with this guy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So the way that we saw an ILAD doctor, so ILAD, he specializes in Lyme disease and he's in New Jersey.
Oh,
okay. So this ILAD doctor says, he explains it similar to how chickenpox acts in your body, where initially you have chickenpox, right? It's unmistakable. Right. You have this rash, but now you have a virus that lives in your body and it can present at any time and it can present multiple times throughout your life, depending. But when it does present, it will never, ever look like chickenpox again. It will look like something different, shingles or rash or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Lyme can be like that, where it's not going to look the same as your initial infection. And so that makes it even harder to really
find out
what it is. Yeah.
And I know
you really have to be like, well, you either have to have a Sara in your life, or you really have to have an advocate. You have to be your own advocate of like, this is not okay. I do not feel normal. Here's everything happening.
100%.
Here's a list of what's been happening and I'm not okay. Instead of just being like, oh, okay, I have a flu. No, there's something really wrong. Yep. Mentally too. I'm depressed. I'm having anxiety through the roof, whatever, like you were saying. But really don't give up on it. You're saying really find someone. Okay.
Yeah. You're not
that's good to know.
Yeah. I thought I was getting older and I was like, everything was achy.
You are.
Yeah. Yeah. You're over 50.
you believe the way he's acting?
I love it.
He's really beating the man that you said, though. You're like in true man fashion, Jake. And you're
Low,
just like,
low
yeah.
hanging fruit. I had to take it.
No, thanks for asking, Jake. And if anybody wants to know my journey with Lyme, like I'll put out my number or whatever, or if somebody thinks they may have it, because like you said, Melissa, you can go in and get tested for it and it'll come back negative because it's not testing the right, for the right spirochetes. And and thank goodness I had the facial palsy.
Okay.
Because I would
kind of shot you straight to the answer.
Yeah.
Whereas some people might be dealing with it, like you're saying, the way that you were, which is
10
like
to 15 years.
Annoying things for years on years.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really nice thing for you to do to help other people, because I can't imagine dealing with that for all that time and having no one say, "Oh, I think this is what it is. Let's talk about it." You would feel very isolated.
Yeah. And now it's been 6 months and I'm still chasing. I would say that 90% of the Lyme is gone. Like the facial palsy is gone. The inflammation's gone, but I'm still.
Well, that's not true. You just had a rash last night.
I'm still chasing really bad stuff. Really bad. But my face will puff, my face will puff up like really bad.
And this is also why the Alkaa thing, I think, is such a huge, thank goodness you can do that now. Because you can't be in that environment. You can't be
do it.
Not sleeping and doing all the things, and then on top of it dealing with this. No way.
No way.
No way. So it's been good. Yeah. It's been a crazy couple months. Alkaa's been just super fun. Lyme it's taught me a lot of empathy for people that have been sick for more than a month.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's something.
Chronic illness is no joke.
I mean, Jake, I don't think you've been sick for more than a week, Jake, maybe 2 in your life. And you probably get super annoyed after like 3 days, like I did, and be like, this sucks. And then you get better and you're like, I'm better.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But man, when you hear of somebody that's chronic, I was just kind of like, that's
like, maybe they're okay.
Are you really that sick? Right.
Living in it to see what it really means.
Yeah.
Right.
Really is awful.
For
and
sure.
Lyme is not nice.
I can feel it.
Yeah, I can feel it, and it's very migratory. One day it's in my bladder, the next day it's in my knees, then it's in my eyes, then it's in my head, then it's in my back, and then it's in my face.
Okay, so if people are having any of this, then they really should reach out and just be like, "Is this?"
And it's literally day to day, like you. And so right now, when you run, you guys in your shins get really sore. And it's go to your car and you can't like lift your foot up to put it on the gas pedal. You're like, oh, my shins are. That's what I'm doing right now, and I can my foot flops when I walk.
Okay.
Because I don't have any strength in my shins, and it's the Lyme, and it's really weird.
That is crazy.
Yeah. It's like a PSA.
So and I'm looking at things to do. Like I'll do the crystals. I don't even care. Like sign me up.
Crystals. We're doing the crystals. Call Spencer Pratt.
Napoleon, turn it off. Turn it off.
Turn it off, Napoleon. Oh my gosh. So good. Well, this is incredible, guys. I'm so glad we did this.
Congrats on all the updates on, all the changes.
So many good things.
Thank you.
So many.
We appreciate you guys being with us since the beginning too.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
This is really
we're thrilled.
Yeah,
this is huge.
On the intro, I said it, but Alkaa, I feel like comes up all the time, either on the pod.
It does.
When we're all just chatting, and Chelsea uses it a lot. Crystal's been using it. Melissa uses
and even on the pod, like we'll talk to people and they'll talk about something about drinking. We'll be like, you need Alkaa, and then we'll shout out Alkaa. It's great. It's a great product.
Thank you.
But it comes up a lot, like Malika today, where she's like, oh, I could use this, and not knowing it, still people that don't know about it. And so the more people that hear about it, the more.
Yeah.
Definitely.
100%. This and the Limes.
Yeah.
We'll definitely, if people are thinking, oh, that's weird or that resonates with me, reach out to you guys because that
Yeah.
would feel really good to be like, wait, I can talk to someone about this,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much. Do you
Yes, this has
what
been awesome, guys.
Thanks, guys.
you know the
Thank
deal?
you.
Do
You
do
know
you
the
have
deal.
any
What's the song?
the songs? Hit us with some songs.
Oh, okay. So I
Ooh.
have one. Badly Drawn Boy. His name is really Damon Gow, but he goes by Badly Drawn Boy as his stage name. Silent Sigh.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
I
good
love it.
one.
Silenced Sigh.
Silence.
Silent Sigh.
Okay.
Okay, so mine is from a soundtrack, and the soundtrack is Little Miss Sunshine,
Oh no, you're joking. That's one of my favorite soundtracks ever.
and it's The Winner Is. That's the name of
Oh
the
my
song.
word. I love that movie. I love the soundtrack.
And that song gets me through Lyme.
Oh, put
Because
it on blast. Yes.
yeah, that song gets me through the Lyme because it's just happy enough but kind of sad.
Yeah. Kind
Um
of like the movie.
yeah, it is like the movie. Yeah.
Like you're so sad crying, but you're so happy watching them go through their little things.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I'm like, if something happened and something bad happened, I'm fine. And this
I could
song
get
just,
through it with this little
you can just
jam.
get through it, right?
Yeah.
So that's my song.
We got to make that song the play
We'll play it on the
Yeah.
post for sure.
Oh, cool. That's a good one.
Yeah. Do
That's
it.
my favorite right now.
Cool.
I love it.
What do you got, Melissa?
Okay, so I want to do a song called Sugar Muffin
Sure.
by Some Buck, Sumbuck.
Okay.
But I like it.
I literally just started listening to them last week and I am obsessed with the song. It's so chill, good vibes. The guy's voice is cool. It's like older, raspy. I love it.
Cool.
That's my jam.
All right.
Obviously, we talked about Rattlesnake, but I think Zach Bryan's Rattlesnake is better than Jack Van Cleef's.
All right.
That was going to be the other one.
I'm gonna do because we recently had invited Paul and Sara to a concert, and I said, just so you know, it might be 3 hours, and it was 3 hours
To the minute.
to the
You're
minute.
joking. Who?
Sturgill, they came with us to Sturgill.
What?
It was awesome.
It was.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous.
Um,
An Alka night with Sturgill? What
Yeah.
is that?
oh, and we
So
had a
much fun.
great meal.
Oh my
before.
word. Okay,
Um,
well, me and Darren got to come up and we got to go to a concert, all of us.
That would be super
That
fun.
would be fun.
And we have to just record all of us putting Alka in our drinks the whole night and be like, we survived this concert because of Alka.
Hey, that's a business write-off.
Yeah,
Okay.
heck yeah.
When I was
Alka, the
in,
pod, we got to do it. What do you got, Jake?
so when I was in LA, I went and found one of my favorite Sturgill albums,
Oh,
Ballad of
sweet.
Dude and Juanita.
I
So
can't
I'm gonna
believe you
do
found that.
Juanita, the song Juanita that features Willie Nelson.
Okay.
So that song, and
Okay.
then I was gonna do. This is one of my favorite albums ever, ZZ Top Eliminator.
Oh, wow. That's picking it back.
No
I need a
kidding.
new copy because
Oh my
it's
gosh.
been played and traveled with.
Oh, man.
That is great.
There's a song called "I Need You Tonight"
Okay.
that's just super chill. It's a
Oh,
good
he's
song.
getting wild. He's
So
getting.
those two songs, "I Need You Tonight" by ZZ Top and "Juanita" by Sturgill.
Beautiful.
That's the song that the Tick was playing when he
Yeah.
arrived at his destination.
Yeah.
I need you tonight.
Well, this is fun. It's nice to see you guys.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Thank
Next
you.
The
time
next time we
Darren-
come down, we'll get together and do a concert with Alka.
Yeah, next time
I love
Darren and
that
Melissa
idea.
are in town, we'll all
Cool.
get together.
Yes.
That would be super fun.
Yeah.
We are so excited for you guys on
Thank you.
everything you've got going on, though. That's amazing.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you for rocketing us to stardom.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah. Thanks, Chelsea, OG Alka user.
Yeah.
But
this
all
was
right.
great,
Well, this has been
guys.
fun. We'll
Thanks,
talk to you
guys.
guys soon. Thank
Great
you.
being with you guys.
All
We'll
right.
see you later.
Bye.